Hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else watching. My name's Eric, and welcome back to a brand new video here on the BioShockHub. So, we have yet another article from Game Rant today, and at this point they should just honestly be a part of my channel. It's a lot of fun to go into these articles and give constructive criticism, feedback in general, and just make a couple of jokes here and there. It's nothing to intentionally harass or anything like that. It's all in good fun, and it's just all, for entertainment purposes. So today we have the pros and cons of BioShock 4's RPG turn. So with that being said, sit back, would you kindly grab a drink, and without further ado, let's hop into the video. So this one was published 3 days ago, and it states the following. With job listings hinting at BioShock 4, or whichever the name of this new BioShock is going to be, using far more RPG elements than previous games, there are pros and cons with the series' new turn. With BioShock Infinite approaching its 8th birthday, and that's still incredibly hard to believe that it's already been 8 years, fans still have very little insight into the story or setting, or any details for that matter, of BioShock 4. What is known, however, is that the new studio, Cloud Chamber, will be tackling the project. However, while many developers from the first 3 games will be returning, which is amazing, series creator Ken Levine has moved on, and we've pretty much discussed and talked about a lot of that. So, at the end of last year, several Cloud Chamber job listings gave fans some insight into potential changes that they might expect to see in BioShock 4. Surprisingly, these listings suggest that the next game in the series would have more RPG elements than previous entries, including a Fallout-style branching dialogue system and a more open world. These would be big changes, and if BioShock is indeed going down that road of a more RPG-oriented path, there will be many potential pros and cons, just like with every game, which is completely okay. So let's dive into those now. And before we actually get into the pros and cons, we have BioShock 4's potential RPG features. There were 2 main job listings which hinted at BioShock 4's including of more RPG elements than previous games. Restera user Maro NL uncovered a listing for a senior voice designer role which requested experience in creating branching dialogue systems. This suggests that BioShock 4 will allow players to pick their dialogue, instead of their player characters simply delivering their fixed lines as in BioShock Infinite, or having no voice at all like the first 2 BioShocks. The second listing of interest was for a systems designer position, which asked for experience creating an emergent sandbox world. While BioShock games in the past have allowed players access to large fictional cities, they could hardly be called sandboxes. Players generally only had access to a single contained area at a time, even if they were allowed free reign to explore it. While these 2 listings alone may not seem like much, they indicate a broader change in the design philosophy of BioShock that could be realized in the next installment. If the turn is taking place, BioShock 4's RPG elements may not be limited to its dialogue and world design. They could also see players get access to different gear, more divergent story paths, and other design aspects more frequently seen in games like Fallout than previous BioShock games. And now let's hop into the pros of RPG elements in BioShock. If BioShock 4 fully commits to the RPG route, there could be some big benefits. A branching dialogue system suggests far more opportunities to interact with and get to know characters in said world. Previous BioShock games relied a lot on audio logs or voxophones to get the story across, which, while complementing the semi-abandoned Streets of Rapture, would likely not age as well as a feature currently. I still would personally like them. What about you all? Let me know down in the comment section below, please. Thematically, branching dialogue could indicate a very different kind of story compared to BioShock Infinite. The player is given very few choices in Infinite, but due to the game's ultimately determinist philosophy, those choices have very little effect on the game. The story even drives this point home in a moment when the Lutece twins ask Booker to flip a coin, which lands on heads, before revealing that the coin also landed on heads the last 122 times that Booker flipped it. And if it was 122 or not, if someone wouldn't mind fact checking that for me, I would very much appreciate that. Anyways, let's continue. The stories of the original BioShock and BioShock Infinite are shown to be deeply connected in the Burial at Sea expansions. If BioShock 4 is going to flourish, it will likely need to start a brand new story all of its own, which it sounds like Cloud Chamber is actually doing. Branching dialogue indicates an entirely new mode of storytelling, which could help make that distinction, both in terms of gameplay and whatever philosophy the next BioShock ends up exploring. For fans who love open world RPGs, seeing this kind of dystopian city BioShock is known for, opened up with a small sandbox or even a large sandbox world, could be very exciting. The games are known for their environmental storytelling, with players piecing together the stories of Rapture and Columbia as they go along, through audio logs and voxophones. However, while there are many details which are easy to miss, the main stories of BioShock and Infinite are relatively linear. A sandbox world could be a great way to expand upon the environmental storytelling principles which have defined this series while also increasing their scale. This is not without its risks, however. And with that being said, let's hop into the cons. BioShock and BioShock Infinite both set their sights on clear philosophies. The games interrogate those philosophies in a way rarely seen in mainstream media, let alone video game storytelling. The voices and opinions of the storytellers has always come through within the BioShock games. The first BioShock makes it clear that rugged individualism of objectivism didn't lead to a self-managing utopia, but to chaos and cruelty within Andrew Ryan's Rapture. BioShock Infinite doesn't shy away from the racism and the cult of personality underlying Columbia. BioShock Infinite's multiverse aspects suggest that the logical appeal of objectivism and the religious and racially supremacist fervor behind American nationalism are two sides of the same coin. If the player is given too much freedom to define their own story in BioShock 4, the political pointedness of the series could risk being undermined. For now, fans will have to wait to the extent to which BioShock 4 changes the franchise's formula. BioShock 4 will have to distinguish itself from past entries in the series, but Cloud Chamber will have to be careful that its new additions to the franchise don't end up taking away some of the aspects that make BioShock so popular to begin with, and also they don't want to kill the game. So again, let me know your thoughts, opinions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section below. I'll try to answer and reply to as many as I possibly can, hopefully within the first hour or two of this video being up. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, obviously I would love to see your comments down in the comment section below. If you're new here and want to see more BioShock content in the future, would you kindly hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and turn on all post notifications to never miss that future video or future live stream. Also, if you want to talk to me outside of YouTube or check out some additional content, my social media links as well as my second channel link will be in the description below. I'd love to have you guys over there and check that out. Other than that, with that being said, a couple of videos should be popping up on the screen here shortly that you should check out. And also, make sure to take care, stay safe, and with that being said, I will talk to you all in the next video.